my beautiful friends, it's Amanda here, and today we're going to be testing out this newish NYX palette. This is the Ultimate Party on Sunset palette. NYX released this as part of their 25th birthday celebration. I purchased mine from Ulta, but you can still get this from the NYX website as well. It's priced at $38 US, and it's a 32 pan palette. It's pretty big, as you can see. I was very drawn to this palette because at first glance, it looks half colorful and half neutral. Upon closer inspection, it's definitely more neutrals, but I do like that it has a mix of some cooler toned, more grayish neutrals, as well as some warmer, more golden neutrals. We have a little bit of purple, pink, and red mixed in here. Definitely still mostly neutral. I was also intrigued by this metallic silver. If you know me, you know I love a really, really bright metallic silver. If I see some bright purple and some bright silver, I am automatically paying attention. So that's what encouraged me to order this palette for myself. I'm going to give you all of the information just like I usually do. We'll take a close-up look at the palette. There's a lot of little details to see here. I'm also going to do all of the finger and brush swatches that I usually do, and I'll do an eye look. I think today is a palette bingo type of day. There's just so many shades in here that I think this palette in particular is a good candidate for a palette bingo. There's a lot of neutrals in here, so I don't think there's much potential for disaster. I may have just jinxed myself saying that. Let's see what the Ultimate Party on Sunset palette has to offer. As usual for these NYX palettes, the shadows don't have shade names, they're just numbered. So that makes a palette bingo very easy. I'm going to use my little random number generator here. We have 32 shadows, so we'll make it minimum 1, maximum 32, and our first number is, will it focus? 29. All right, what's 29? It's definitely going to be towards the bottom here because this is 32, 31, 30, 29. Yes, a purple one. Oh my goodness. All right. Oh, it feels nice. Nice and soft, nice and pigmented. So let's keep track of the shades here. All right, let's see what we get next. Next up, we have 17. Let's see what is 17 will be this one right here. Okay, a neutral. Definitely a little transition shade type of color. Kind of a golden, warm golden tan type of color. So far, so good. I think 5 shades. Let's pick 5. That should be good for a look. Next, we have 7. We went from 17 to 7. 7 will be this color. Oh, good. Finally, a metallic. I don't think there's, like I said, I don't think there's a lot of potential for failure for palette bingo using this palette because it is so neutral, but so far I'm pleased with these shades. 2 more. Let's see what we got next. Next, we have number 5. That will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, another metallic. Oh, a pink one. Okay. Pink is not always my favorite color to work with, but I'm sure getting a lot of colorful shades, so that's good. All right. Last one. Last one is 8. Got a lot of small numbers there at the end. Okay, let's see. 8 is this one. Okay, so like a dark matte purple. I got 2 matte purples. Lucky me. Okay. Doesn't look wildly different from the first purple that we got, but this is the color story I ended up with. At least it's, you know, I got some purpley shades in there. I'm surprised that there's not more neutrals, but I won't complain because I like purple. So let's zoom in and see what kind of look I can come up with. As usual, I'm starting with my favorite eye primer. This is the Ulta Beauty House brand matte eye primer. Just a little side note, I was so afraid that this primer was going to get discontinued because I went on the Ulta site actually to link it to a video and it was nowhere to be seen. I was terrified, but rest assured, it's back. I feel like it's more expensive. It's in new packaging, but it claims to be the same great formula, according to Ulta. I know I'm not the only one that really, really loves this primer, so just wanted to give you a little reassurance. It's still there, just looks a little bit different. Now, let's get back to this eyeshadow look. I started off with that soft golden tan matte shade, just put a little bit of that in the crease area and also along the lower lash line. I know I want to go for a really dramatic, smoky purple look. Thanks to these shades, I'm going to get to layer up some of these purple matte shades all across the lid, and I'm really trying to stay just to the lid and not blend it too far out yet because this color is brighter and deeper. Find that it's not only much easier to control if I do a little bit at a time, but it's also a lot easier to blend out if I apply a little bit at a time. So I just went back and forth patting that matte shade all over my lids until I built up a pretty decent purple matte base. And then I went back to my original blending brush and just blended the edges. And then I'll also go back and add a little bit more of the actual eyeshadow too, just to keep that warmth. I don't want the brown shade to completely disappear. I really try to make sure that when I do a palette bingo, all the shades can actually have a chance to show up and shine. Admittedly, that's a little bit tough with this second purple matte shade because they do look quite similar. However, this second shade that I'm applying is a little bit darker. So I'm applying that to the very outer part of my eyelid and then really softly blending right into the edges of those other shadows that have already been applied. I want to add some depth and some drama, but I don't want this look to go to nighttime on me because I am going to wear this all day. And doing a deeper color like this, doing a smokier, more sultry eye look like this, it can go evening very quickly, at least on me anyway. So I'm trying to really keep those dark purples as contained to the lid as possible. And I'm actually going to brighten everything up by applying some of this purple shimmer shade right on top of that purple matte base, focusing mostly on the center of my lid because I want to add some highlight and shine there, and then just patting with my finger out in either direction to smooth that shadow onto the lid. These layered really nicely. I will say I was worried about the shadows lifting and blending each other away because these shadows, both mattes and shimmers, do have a drier formula compared to something that is really velvety. Like, for example, if you've tried an Odin's eyeshadow, their mattes and shimmers alike both have a feel of like a slippery is not the right word. I think you know what I mean. They're not quite as dry. They have a little bit more of an emollient feel. And these NYX shadows are a bit drier. Sometimes that is a really bad thing because pigmentation won't show up. But in this case, the shadows are pretty decently pigmented. Definitely not that intense kapow in your face type of swatch, which you're going to see the swatches here in just a minute or two. But as you can see on my eyes here, they showed up nicely. Everything looks opaque and blended. So I can't actually complain about the performance as much as it's just not my preferred feeling. It's not my preferred formula for an eyeshadow. It's not bad. It's not underperforming. I think some of the swatches look a little bit underwhelming, and these do definitely need some layering. They need some good eyeshadow primer down, but I can't say that they didn't work. I can't say that they didn't blend well. And I also can't say that they didn't wear well. This look lasted a great long time on me. And maybe it is due to, like I said, those slightly drier eyeshadow formulas. They do tend to stick around quite well on my lids. I do have dry skin. I do not have oily skin. I don't have oily lids, but I do have a lot of creasing. I mean, I got almost 40-year-old eyelids and they have a lot more crinkles and nooks and crannies than they used to. Let's just put it that way. So, creasing is something that I experience, and I have to say that the creasing was pretty minimal with these. The wear time and the appearance on the lid definitely was pretty decent. I can't complain about wear time or anything like that. I will say that these are not impressive in swatch. As you can see here, as usual, some of the lighter colors just blending right into my skin tone. That's not necessarily a formula problem, but the shimmers are a bit of a softer metallic, more of a shimmery shadow than a true metallic. I like a foily, intense kapow type of shimmer on the lids. So I do tend to like those more emollient, almost squishy, foily type of metallics. And that's not what we're getting in this palette. This is definitely showing up. It's definitely pretty consistent, although I do see some shades being a little bit patchy in swatch. Once we get to those purple and red shades, those are typically the offenders for shadows that are on the drier side. So when you have an already drier formula, it does tend to get a little bit more patchy or inconsistent. But overall, I don't think that these are a bad formula, even if it's not necessarily what I personally prefer. I do like something that's more intensely pigmented, but I also think this could be great for somebody who prefers softer eye looks, maybe somebody who is just learning how to apply eyeshadow and doesn't want to work with a lot of pigmentation. So, not bad, just different. This is just my first time actually wearing this palette, so I do think that it deserves some more wear testing. But I will say overall, probably not gonna move to the top of my favorites shelf or anything. Performance-wise, I find it to be pretty middle of the road. Definitely not terrible, not my personal favorite types of formulas, but I think my eye look ended up working out pretty well. So I can't complain too much. Between the formulas being middle of the road and the color story not being super exciting, this isn't a total flop for me. I think this has some nice potential to turn out a lot of cute looks, and I do think that a lot of people will like this. It's just not my personal favorite. I'm just not as blown away by it as I was hoping to be. And I think it's cute, but probably not something I would ultimately highly recommend. I'm very much of the mind that there's something for everyone and there's someone for everything, and I'm certain that there are plenty of people that this palette is perfect for. I just don't think I'm that person at the end of the day. But I am open to trying this out some more. Maybe this palette and I can kind of hit our stride together in the future. Not ruling that possibility out. Now's the time when I want to hear what you think about this palette. Have you already picked this one up? What do you think of the palette bingo eye look that I landed on? I always love to hear what you think about things too, so make sure you leave all your thoughts down in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! Huh? Man. So let's put this palette to the test and see. So what? Hey, oh, hey. This thing is gigantic. It's bigger than my head. So let's. I'm nervous. All right. What's the word I'm looking for? It's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so I need my little caffeine boost. I really want to do some more. Maybe palette bingos and build your own palettes are the way to go if I want to do some more eye look focused content. Since the multiple looks videos aren't really hitting like they used to, maybe that's a good way to do it. Some palette bingos, some build your own palettes. It's been a while since I did a BYOP video. I have actually a good one that I designed, and I just haven't actually made a video with it yet. So They smell really good. The way this smells so good and this smells so bad. So bad. Genuinely incredibly bad. Like if hairspray and bug spray were mixed together, that's what this smells like. It's pretty rough. It's pretty rough. But if it works, then I mean, I would rather smell like hairspray and bug spray mixed together than get sunburn on my face. So you win some, you lose some, you know what I mean? I need to wash my brushes. All right. Thanks for watching. You're the best. You're cool, smart, funny, important, talented, and really cute. And I love your face. Okay, bye.